British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak calls for a surprise election on July 4th.
Spain, Ireland and Norway move to recognize the state of Palestine. Israel says the announcements send a message that terrorism pays. Spain, Norway and the Republic of Ireland said they are going to recognize the state of Palestine. Norway was the first to announce the move early on Wednesday, followed shortly by Madrid and Dublin.
This is an historic and important day for Ireland and for Palestine. On the 21st of January 1919, Ireland asked the world to recognise our right to be an independent state. Our message to the free nations of the world was a plea for international recognition of our independence, emphasising our distinct national identity, our historical struggle, and our right to self-determination and justice. Today, we use the same language to support the recognition of Palestine as a state.
Nos sumaremos a los más de 140 países del mundo que ya reconocen al Estado palestino y a esa amplia mayoría de países que hace 12 días votó a favor de la entrada de Palestina en las Naciones Unidas como Estado miembro de pleno derecho. Esperamos no ser los últimos, esperamos que nuestro reconocimiento y nuestras razones contribuyan a que otros países occidentales sigan este camino.
Sanchez and his Irish counterpart have been rallying for months to form a coalition of pro-Palestine EU countries. The recognition by Spain, Norway and Ireland is expected to be made official on Tuesday, the 28th of May. Slovenia, Malta and Belgium also signalled they may soon follow suit. The latest war between Israel and Hamas, which caused the death of over 35,000 people between civilian and soldiers, as well as millions of displaced, saw a decisive push towards a two-state solution, which is also backed by the UN and the United States. So far, Israel has firmly refused such an agreement. Israel's Foreign Minister Israel Katz said that Wednesday's events send a message to the Palestinians and the whole world that, quote, terrorism pays.
The Irish government says it strongly rejects any criticism by Israel that this action plays into the hands of Hamas. They say Hamas is not the Palestinian people and reiterated calls for them to release the hostages back to their loved ones immediately. But the Prime Minister says it's time to breathe new life into the two-state solution, to give hope to the people of Gaza suffering unbearably, and as he says, give hope to the children of Gaza who go to sleep at night not knowing if they'll ever wake up.
The decision by 3 more countries to recognise Palestine as a state is symbolic, but has practical implications, an expert on Middle East politics told Euronews. An important point is that the recognition by Ireland, Spain and Norway refers to the borders that existed in 1967 and not to the current Palestinian territory impacted by the expansion of Israeli settlements.
This is important in terms of reinforcing international support for a two-state solution. It is also practical because it will likely further future measures to sanction potentially Israeli settlements or to at least exclude Israeli settlement products from Europe.
France and Slovenia may soon follow suit, especially given the EU's formal support for a two-state solution to bring an end to the crisis. The analyst also says this could advance efforts for a ceasefire and the deployment of a peacekeeping force in Gaza, in line with the Arab position advocating for the recognition of Palestinian self-determination.
Arab countries, Arab states, have an important role to play in supporting a sustainable ceasefire in Gaza and potentially also engaging afterwards, potentially in terms of deploying Arab troops. The Palestinian Authority also has an important role to play in returning to Gaza and reassuming governance and security functions.
Only 9 of the 27 member states of the EU recognise Palestine's statehood. Some countries, such as Germany, Austria and Hungary, firmly support Israel, but have shown a growing willingness to take on common EU positions, as demonstrated by their support for a humanitarian pause in Gaza and the approval of EU sanctions against violent Israeli settlers.
British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has called a snap election. He made the announcement in the drizzling rain on Downing Street as support for his embattled centre-right party dwindles.
Earlier today, I spoke with His Majesty the King to request the dissolution of Parliament. The King has granted this request, and we will have a general election on the 4th of July.
The Tories' 14-year tenure has been tarred by an economic slump, a pandemic, ethical scandals and a revolving door of leaders. The centre-left Labour Party, helmed by Keir Starmer, is currently leading the polls by at least 20 points. On July the 4th, voters across the United Kingdom will choose 650 members of the House of Commons for a term of up to 5 years. Ukraine's once well-lit capital Kyiv has been hit by blackouts as Russia continues its offensive on the country's energy grid. Standing outside the ruins of one coal-fired power plant, the energy minister Herman Halushenko said that without sufficient air defense, infrastructure repair would be futile.
Тому що мені здається, що оцей початок атак з березня, і абсолютно очевидно, що мета є зима. Тобто оцей проміжок часу, він є величезний з точки зору спроби тотально покласти систему.
The Kremlin decimated Kyiv's largest thermal power plant, Tripilska, in April and launched sustained missile attacks on several power generation and transmission facilities the month following. This is the first time since Russia's full-scale invasion that Kyiv has suffered blackouts, with many nervous about the months ahead.
The final debate of the European elections is just a few hours away. The main candidates of the European parties are already preparing to share their vision of Europe in this debate organised by the European Broadcasting Union in the European Parliament. The candidates include Ursula von der Leyen, Nicolas Schmit, Sandro Gozzi, Terry Reintke and Walter Bayer. Be 900 people in the chamber, which has been converted into a television studio for the occasion.
The idea is that the candidates get a chance to really share with the public what their ideas are and their solutions with regard to key issues that are all around us. Climate change, jobs and economy, migration, you name it.
It is for the Europeans, by the Europeans. The Europeans should have a say, and they will have a substantial say in this debate via social media. First-time voter, they'll be sitting here in the audience asking questions as well.
In addition, the candidates will have a 3-minute one-to-one interview to find out in detail about their policies.
Estos atriles, como por ejemplo este que pertenece a Ursula von der Leyen, la actual presidenta de la Comisión Europea y representante del Partido Popular Europeo, es donde estarán los candidatos principales a las elecciones europeas. Este es el último debate antes de los comicios que se celebrarán del 6 al 9 de junio, pero no todos los grupos políticos estarán representados, algo que ha causado bastante malestar.
This is the case of ID and CRE, which do not have a leading candidate and therefore, according to the rules of the European Broadcasting Union, cannot participate. The EFA, which despite having a lead candidate, has been rejected because it is part of the Green Group in the European Parliament. The ID representative believes there is political motivation behind this.
I can conclude that neither party running in this election are upholding all the rules of the Spitzenkandidat. So if they set down that rule book, everyone should be excluded. So I see it more as a political censorship that you exclude the 20 to 25% of the European electorate who wants to vote for the right from the participation in a democratic debate.
Debate can be followed this Thursday, 23rd of May at 3 p.m. Brussels time, live on Euronews.
Ik ben Bea Uvin, ik woon in Brussel en ik werk bij AG Insurance, een verzekeringsmaatschappij. Moest ik Europees parlementariër zijn, dan zou ik vooral in de komende termijnen focussen op een Europees verbondschap tussen alle landen om meer de verschillende landen te verenigen. In ons gemeenschappelijke doelen, onze waarden uitdragen en dan meer specifiek ook naar de veiligheid in de toekomst toe zou ik zorgen dat wij een systeem op punt stellen waarbij wij een geuniformiseerd leger of krijgsmacht hebben om de waarden en de veiligheid van Europa veilig te stellen. Vooral op verbinding denk ik spelen en zien wat onze gemeenschappelijke waarden zijn in plaats van te kijken naar de verschillen. Ik denk dat dat de kracht is van de toekomst en dat dat nodig is.
Η ασφάλεια ενιαίως του ενωσιακού χώρου τίθεται ένα αμφιβόλο όχι μόνο της επιθετικότητας της Ρωσίας αλλά και λόγω των ευρύτερων γεωπολιτικών συνθήκων στη γειτονιά μας. Άρα σημαντικό είναι πώς θα φτάσουμε στην περαιτέρω, αν θέλετε, ενοποίηση, στην περαιτέρω ευρωπαϊκή ολοκλήρωση, ώστε ο πυλώνας αυτός της ευρωπαϊκής ενοποίησης, δηλαδή κοινή πολιτική άμυνας και ασφάλειας, να λάβει σάρκα και οστά, να είναι συγκεκριμένος, πράγμα το οποίο, αν θέλετε, να το πω και λίγο από εθνική σκοπιά, θα βοηθήσει πάρα πολύ και τη χώρα μας, διότι εμείς είμαστε σε ένα σημείο του κόσμου που διαρκώς έχουμε ζητήματα με έναν πολύ επιτιθέμενο, αν θέλετε, με έναν πάρα πολύ απρόβλεπτο γείτονα.